What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F1 24 My Team Career Mode video. Today it's another sprint race around Austria, Red Bull Ring here in the Styrian Mountains. Love this circuit. I think it's, maybe one of my favorite circuits. I don't know if it's the 3 DRS zones or the sort of tight, almost 90-degree corners, but here we go. In SQ1, obviously on the mediums, and running into turn 1, I think I've been a little bit cautious on brakes around this circuit. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's just I need to get a bit better at braking. I know in previous videos I've said I'm pretty good, but yeah, I'm not sure. When I see, where others can brake at, heavy braking zones, I'm not that confident. But here we are, feeling sort of confident, but also not quite. It's been an okay lap so far, nothing too crazy. I mean, it's been pretty simple so far. It's 3 straights. Running a little bit wide mid-corner there, but that's okay. We are doing alright, and as always, I don't really play this game as much as I should. I don't really practice, so this is sort of the first laps every week that you see are in qualifying, especially around the circuits that I haven't played since last year. So pretty good. Fastest lap there for us in SQ1 on the mediums. So we'll see where that takes us through in Q2. Again, on the mediums. And to spice it up, now I've also been adding in some sound effects into the videos. So we'll see how those go today. Let me know in the comments if you like them, if you want more, if you want less. I to be honest, I kind of enjoyed it, but I've got a huge bank of sound effects now, and I want to use them all. In every video, but it might be a bit much as we go a bit deep there and onto the yellow sausage curb on the outside of, I guess technically turn 3, but what is technically turn 2 doesn't really exist in a Formula 1 car. It's a slight change on a straight. I mean, in many other cars as well it won't really exist, but it is what it is. I think that's turn 3 anyway, but overall, that's a huge time loss, hitting the gravel there on there, and a bit of bottoming out as well, just for good measure. So bit of a more scruffy lap this one, but we'll see where we end up going in this qualifying session for it's P3, so we're not too far behind, but again I think the player always has a huge advantage around Austria. Mainly for turn 1, just here we can kind of mount this curb quite a bit and also ride the curb on the edge, which the AI don't particularly like to do. And even then, just the run up the hill and some of the areas around this track, we can actually take a lot of advantage over maximizing the track and by using the curbs, if that makes sense. Whereas I think a lot of the AI don't do that. I think down this corner as well, you can see I fully mount the curb and then fully mount the inside curb, and not that much on this lap, but you can fully mount that outside curb as well, as long as you don't dip wheels on the grass or the gravel or bottom out on the sausage curbs. I think you're good basically, which obviously gives us an advantage. But overall, a pretty tidy lap for us here in SQ3. We'll see where this is going to put us. Is it going to be provisional pole? Obviously, this is our first lap, so across the line, a 103.6, a fastest lap for us. There with Sergio Perez shortly behind us. But was that good enough for pole position for the sprint race? Let's find out. Yes, it is. Sergio Perez keeping his P2 spot alongside us on the front row. But then, if we move on to P3, we have Charles Leclerc, followed by Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen, Hamilton and Alonso, and then Russell and Piastri to round out the top 10. Tsunoda, and then our teammate Gasly, who's been doing a little bit better recently, which is nice to see. Then Magnussen, Ocon, Stroll, Dennis Hauger, Alexander Albon, Zhou Guanyu, Daniel Ricciardo, Logan Sargent, Nico Hülkenberg, and Teo Pourchaire, who once again is taking the wooden spoon home with him. But that is the grid for the sprint, and because I don't show you the aerial shots anymore, after the first one that introduces the video. You didn't see that it is raining for sprint race, but it is, and all the lights are on. Now they're out as we go racing for the sprint. Very much wheel spin city here as we get going off the line, but a pretty decent getaway for us. I think Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez are fighting over that P2 spot. Can we make something of it as we burn the battery up the hill towards turn 3? I'm going to call it turn 3 from now on. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. We have a bit of a massive moment, actually. It turned out to be a bit of a lockup, but it just sent us completely straight, and that advantage we had running up the hill has completely gone. And now here comes Sergio Perez looking for a move around the outside into the downhill braking zone. Turn 4 as we go massively deep as well. And as you can hear the memes say, oh shit, not good. It's been a difficult lap for us so far. We are not used to these conditions as we go deep yet again. We're not quite there with the brakes as we would be in the dry. Obviously the AI don't have any of these kinds of issues when they're starting a race, because they always know the peak grip, right? So yeah, we've been lucky to not get punished too heavily so far in this race, as we have a bit of a snap there mid corner, and again a very slow exit for us onto the final pit straight here, and actually surprisingly a fastest sector 3. So obviously some of the other laps we've done have not been as good as we go over the sausage curb on this occasion, which is not ideal, but it's just enough to keep Perez away for now. I'm not sure if Charles Leclerc has been hounding him to get a move on and be more aggressive with us, but we're still in first place, which is what matters at this moment in time. And you can just see the lack of grip that we have. We're running a dry setup because we were running a dry setup in sprint quali, so got to be easy on the brakes and then easy on the throttle. Everything else is pretty good. We're just not going to be as optimized through some of the higher downforce sections like this corner right here, which I feel like is slightly off camber.
Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up!
We did indeed fuck up there. But oh, we have a huge moment there under acceleration, and Sergio Perez decides to...
What the hell is even that? Okay,
Exactly. Perez taking a chunk out of the side of our car as we send it right around the outside of the penultimate corner there, but... I can't believe I'm doing this to myself. I'm trying to record the voiceover, man. I'm getting distracted by my own editing. But as you can see, we're having some massive moments, which editor me was having some good fun with. And yeah, that's just giving Sergio Perez some opportunities there to damage our car and try and make his way past into P1. But so far we're holding on pretty well. Lap 6 out of 8 laps in this sprint, as you can hear. All the wheel spin there, even in 4th and 5th gear, we have a wheel spin as the car's trying to get away from us, but we've just got to be patient. Just got to keep it in a straight line and in between the white lines as well, and just try and hold on to our P1 that we have, that we essentially secured in quali. If we can keep it together here, we are in the money for some good points today, as we've been doing really well the past few races, and just working our way through the pack or defending like our life depends on it. And that's what we need to do for this championship. We've got the next game coming out in about a month and a bit, about 5 weeks time, and I've got about 7 weeks worth.
You better stop!
Exactly, I need to stop with the oversteering moments, because that has let Sergio Perez through, and now we've got to look to the outside as well, just try and get the advantage yet again. And yeah, we need to stop making so many mistakes, and we also need to try and conserve some battery, because that's the only thing that we can defend with in the first half of the lap essentially. But it's purple sector 1 somehow, probably from battery burn. So we go a little bit deep, but a decent rotation there halfway through the corner, and a relatively good exit, although Sergio Perez is right with us still, and we only have 12% battery to fight him with. And yeah, all I can say is if you're enjoying the memes and the craziness that I've thrown into my videos recently, hit the like, let me know in the comments, tell me what's missing, because I always felt like there was something missing from my videos. Memes could be that thing. I don't know if it is though. I'm enjoying it. Let me know if you guys are. But here we are. Final corners of lap 8. We have Sergio Perez just behind us, but I don't think there's enough track for him to really make an advantage for himself as we come home in P1 for the sprint.
Are you not entertained?
Indeed, that is the ultimate question.
Good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a
Are you not
fantastic
entertained?
drive. Bring it home.
Mark singing our praises yet again. He probably wants a pay rise, but you know what it's like as an owner of a team. Got to focus on your drivers. And now, in complete contrast to the rainy conditions, we're in the dry. And in Q1, as you'd expect, we have everything to do yet again. Lovely turn 1 for us there as we dump the battery as we go up the hill. And that was pretty much the perfect amount of curb you can take. It didn't upset the car too much at all. And now, heavy braking into turn 3. I'm going to keep saying turn 3. Some nice rotation. Took the curb nicely. Maybe a little bit too shallow on turn-in, which maybe isn't ideal, but again, got the job done. We got around the corner. Now it's time to see what we can do for the rest of the lap there. Almost cutting the corner completely, but somehow kept it in between the white lines. There must have been a pixel worth of tyre on the inside there as we actually touch the gravel on the outside again, which is going to slow us down just a bit. But have we made up good enough time to get us through on one set of tyres through Q1? We're going to find out in a second as we round the final corner now. Put the power down, get the car straight, open the DRS and dip it across the line to 105.0 for 5th place, which did get us through into Q2, but for some reason our pace today does not seem as strong as it has seemed on previous days. But I believe this to be one of the best laps I did all weekend. A good turn 1, decent speed. You can see in the top right we gained a 10th compared to another lap that we already did in Q2, which I didn't show because if I did the video would be far too long. Been braking a little bit later there. Nice rotation, good acceleration as well, barely any wheel spin, half a second up on our time that's good enough for P11 right now. Brake in again at the 100 meter board, tip the car in, hit the curb, nice, open up the steering and just floor it. It's all you've got to do on that corner. Now into the downhill section here. Can we nail this corner? Yes we can, hitting the throttle early, no wheel on the gravel this time, tipping the car in again and really just throwing it and hoping that it sticks. So far so good, 8/10 up. Final 2 corners, here's one. Absolutely threw that in. I don't know how that stuck. And final corner, perfect. 1 second up, a 103.6 for the fastest lap of Q2 at that time, which was good enough for Q3. So here we go. I'm going to try and use one set of tyres here because I want some for the race, just in case there's a safety car. The pit entry is a bit awkward around Austria. I'm sure you all know. It can cause chaos. So I don't want to give up soft tyres if I don't have to. If there's a bit of a safety car towards the end or in the middle, I want to be able to take advantage and really maximise our strategy options, let's say. But so far, clean lap. Sergio Perez goes fastest with a 104.1, and we're going to continue our run down the hill here. A little bit deep, still hitting the apex, but not as optimal as we could have done and as we have done in previous laps. Lap times are falling constantly. Fernando Alonso 103.7 is the time to beat now, as we're just trying to get it to the end of the track and really just see what we can do here. I'm not sure we're really going to be good enough for pole, but we can see what we get in the final corner here. Is you can see the times in the top left coming in, and it's a 103.9, which is good enough for third right now. But did we make any improvements before the end of Q3? We're going to find out now with the starting grid. Fernando Alonso on pole with a 103.7, so potentially not. Lando Norris rounds out the front row with a 103.8. Remember, we were like a 103.9. There we are. Verstappen third, ourselves on fourth. Russell, Perez, Piastri, and Leclerc. Hamilton and Sainz round out the top 10. Yuki Tsunoda P11, Lance Stroll P12, Ocon, Ricciardo, Albon and Hülkenberg follow them. Pierre Gasly, not as good as yesterday, but still pretty good. Magnussen follows him, and Zhou Guanyu, Porcher, Dennis Hauger, and Logan Sargent are all going to fight for that lovely wooden spoon. And now, a nice speed through the strategy. I did try a few different things, as you can see here, even soft mediums, very ambitious of me. Hard softs as well, didn't really work, but we're going to go for the hard medium strategy. Hope for a safety car. All the lights are on. Now they're out as we go racing for the actual Grand Prix itself. A lot of wheel spin off the line as George Russell gets a jump on us there, but we're going to go round the outside of the Mercedes just in turn one. Do we get the job done? He's still there, but not quite enough acceleration on that Merc as we have in our car. But he's coming back at us up the hill as he looks to the outside. We're looking to defend the inside and see what we can do here against Lando Norris, who's just up ahead of us. We don't want to get caught looking in our mirrors like we are just there, but we want to move forward if we can. And if not, we want to hold on to the position that we have at the moment and not really let any of the leaders get away. They are currently battling like there's no tomorrow. They've been side by side for a few corners now, which is helping us massively, as Alonso does give up that position in the end, which slows up Lando and makes me go offline, which isn't ideal, especially because Russell is looking like he does want to get past us at some point and join the fight for P1. But 5 different constructors in the top 5. It's a tight grid, and we really need to see where our car lands in our hands as we dive down the inside of Lando Norris into turn 1. Really give him a bit of a squeeze on exit as well, just to make sure we claim that position. But now we've got to chase after Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen as they're running up the hill. Does Alonso go for a move? No, he's going to sit in behind and potentially use the DRS on this straight here to seal the deal on Verstappen, but it looks like he didn't get the traction that he was looking for, and we're going to go on the attack to the outside of Fernando Alonso. Hopefully we can make something work as we look to get the traction, but those mediums are still a little bit better than our hards at this stage in the race, and we're going to have to sit behind, but we have disrupted him enough to potentially make him drop out the DRS of Max Verstappen in this next lap. But I think George Russell is going to be looking for a move.
Not that guy, pal. Trust me.
And
you're not that guy.
He is not that guy. He didn't make it work. He couldn't slick his wing up the inside there. But that has actually given us a massive advantage on Alonso. Down the pit straight. We're looking to the outside. Do we get the move done before the turn 1 braking zone? No, we don't. But we absolutely shut the door on his face.
Have a great time.
And it is by have a great time Fernando Alonso, as he has to now contend with George Russell. And he's outside of DRS, which is absolutely beautiful for our cause, our journey to P1 in this race, and make it a perfect weekend almost, with the exception of qualifying for the Grand Prix. But Max Verstappen going a little bit defensive, but nothing too stressful there. We just didn't really have the overspeed to make a move on the Dutchman up ahead. But it looks like it's a 2-horse race at the moment for this race, although it's still very early doors. Not even, well, we're about a quarter of the way through the race at this moment. So there's still a long way to go, but we are putting in the sectors. Look at the sectors. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. We're right behind Verstappen. He's going to give us a bit of a tow to the finish line as well, which is only going to help us to our fastest lap, which there it is. And we're going to go round the outside.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
And we might have just ended his whole career with a move like that. We've been doing it all weekend on some of these drivers, but that Red Bull is not slow in a straight line at all. I think I am running slightly higher wings than the AI, which is why I've qualified really nicely and why the DRS has been so powerful for us. And you can just tell from the speed of the Red
They
Bull.
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I wanted to end his whole career, but I think he just ended my ambitions for ending his whole career, because, yeah, when they ask me if I'm fine, I just say that I'm fine when I'm not really fine. But we do get a move done potentially round the outside of turn 3, which did work for us, as now Verstappen doesn't have the DRS to fight back. But we just got to see if we can hold on and hold him back potentially to slow him down, but also just to give us some working room in the pit stop phase. Otherwise, he's going to get out of DRS after the pit stops, and we are going to be stuck in between P1 and P2 as we have a bit of an understeery corner in the middle there. And now Verstappen is potentially looking for a move, but we're going to just hold him off and not let him even near the outside, and that was very scary for a minute oversteer. And now Verstappen with the DRS and the overspeed is really coming for us now into turn 1 as he's looking to the inside. We do give him the room, but just not quite enough runway for him, but he does have the DRS, and that is the pain we're dealing with around Austria. But we're going to look to the inside. No, not quite. He shuts the door on us. So round to the outside. Can we go all the way around the outside? No, we can't. That Red Bull is just doing so well in the low-speed corners, it seems, and there's not much we can do to stop him. But are we going to look to the inside? No, we're not. We're just going to stay in behind and try not to run into the back of him. We've already done enough sniffing of the rear ends of F1 drivers for this career mode in the first 7 races alone. And yes, I did have to check how many races we've done so far this season. But yeah, it's looking good. Again, we've still got the gap to P3 and P4. They're not in the DRS, so it's kind of P1 and 2 in the fight at the moment. They could come back to us, but if they fight, then there's no chance for them to get back into DRS range. Again, just kind of holding off on sending it on Verstappen. I think we're going to go for a move at the top of the hill here and try and give ourselves DRS, hinder Verstappen's exit, and disappear off into the distance. Can we go around the outside? We go deep, which doesn't help our cause, but we do get some nice traction and the DRS with our battery. And this should be a nice easy move as we just slap Verstappen out of the way there in the 3rd DRS zone of the circuit. And that's a bit of a banana peel that Verstappen must have put there on the previous lap as we defended this corner hard and over the curbing almost spun the car. But we hold on to fight another day, and I think it's going to be pit stop time very shortly for some of these drivers around us. And yeah, Mark is saying we're going to be on mediums in a couple of laps time, and Verstappen and the rest still not boxing, which is kind of making me think they're going a bit longer than I thought in this race. But overall, it doesn't really matter. We're on hard, so our tyres are only going to be getting better than theirs at this point, and we should not have any issues really.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
I wonder sometimes, because I have no idea why I paused it.
Hello?
There's now Verstappen looking for a move down the inside, cutting off the exit for us, but we're potentially going to have a go back at him in a very unorthodox place. But I back out just in the nick of time to save my front wing for another day. I did kind of see red after he slammed the door shut on exit there. You can really see that we're going for it now. A little bit of a nudge actually on the rear of the Red Bull, and you can see his front right end plate, his right side end plate of his front wing is missing. So if you think the performance that Verstappen has, look at this. Super aggressive on the straight there to attack us into turn 1, but is it enough? It's not quite enough at this moment, but he's still side by side. We run up towards turn 3 / turn 2, but turn 3, and we do have the DRS still, but he's still there. He must be running really low wings, and that front wing end plate must not have been giving him much downforce anyway to warrant a pit stop and replace the wing straight away. Now at this point, everybody has boxed behind us onto the hard tyres. As you can see, there's a bit of a train formed of Verstappen, Norris, Alonso, Hamilton and co. shortly behind us, 18 seconds back. And we are losing time. That's inevitable in this scenario. They're going for the undercut. We're going for the fresher tyres. We're not going to go super crazy with the strategies. We had them before. We're just going to get onto the back of that train, make our pit stop nice and smooth, make it into that train, use the DRS, and then profit, right? Like that's the steps to success. Pit for fresh tyres, stay in the train, profit. We just need the team to deliver on the pit stop, which here we go. What is the time going to be for them? Looks pretty smooth. The front right was maybe a little bit slow, but a 2.3 for the team is not bad at all. And here comes that front leading pack. Just there. We don't have DRS, which is a shame. And now we actually might fall into the clutches of George Russell, as he has the advantage coming from turn 1 rather than the pit lane. He's within DRS and we don't have the DRS, so we haven't completed step 2. Was it step 2? DRS? Maybe it was, but who knows? All we know is we've got to catch up. There's a massive fight happening up here. 3 cars, lockups, left, right and centre, as Hamilton is holding off Verstappen and Perez, potentially helping out his teammate who's just behind us. We're kind of caught in this team battle of Mercedes versus Red Bull. There's now Perez looking for a move on Lewis Hamilton. He's looking to the outside. Hamilton's holding the inside line of these next 2 corners, which could be crucial. Perez might have to back out of it. He does as we yeet it down the inside of Verstappen. I wish I didn't say yeet, but we did. And now we've split the Red Bulls. So there's now Mercedes of Hamilton versus Red Bull of Perez, us in the middle, and then the Red Bull of Verstappen versus the Mercedes of Russell. We're in a team battle sandwich as we're going to force to the outside, and wombo combo it is, a double overtake to start this lap, which is exactly what we were looking for on these medium tyres. But the big battle, big Mercedes versus Red Bull battle, has let Norris and Alonso get away. I also don't have much battery. We've got 8 laps, 7 or 8 laps to catch up and overtake, but they're battling hard as well, as Alonso defends from the McLaren of Lando Norris. Very similar story to the Hamilton-Perez battle just a lap or so ago. Norris does have to back out of it, but they live to fight another day, and this time Alonso isn't going to have the DRS. Norris is, and Norris is very, very close here, so he could very easily take the lead and try and run away in the middle sector. Whether that's possible, I do not know. All I know is we now have the DRS on the leaders. We've dropped Perez, Hamilton and co, you know, far, far back. They're almost 3 seconds back now. And now Alonso is struggling against 2 cars with DRS directly behind him. There's a lot, as Norris is looking to the outside, and I'm looking even further to the outside, which is kind of silly of me, but I'm looking for the traction on corner exit as Alonso has the DRS, but he's stuck.
Oh my God!
Boxed
Okay,
in.
it's happening.
It's happening. Double overtake again on now an Aston Martin and a McLaren as we go a bit deep, and Norris is looking for a move, but there's nothing doing there. We did have the traction this time, especially against those hards. 4 laps to go. We're in the lead. We don't have much battery. Our tyres might start to die towards the end, and there's 3 DRS zones around this circuit. Let me know in the comments, do you think we can make it to the end and win this race at this point in time? There are still chances for safety cars. There are still chances for mistakes, crashes, incidents. We're doing alright so far, but look how powerful the DRS is.
What he's doing?
As
Why you bullying me?
Lando Norris is bullying us with the DRS, and look at the time he managed to gain just from DRS on 1 straight, and there's 3. This is why the end of this race is going to be unpredictable, because if we're not able to make a move at this point in the track, as we dip a wheel on the gravel, and that's going to slow us down massively. Is now Fernando Alonso looking for a move, but thinks better of it. This is his experience talking there. And yeah, if we make mistakes and the car ahead gets away, we're going to be stuck fighting the car behind us. And if we're the lead car, it's easy for us to get overtaken twice in just a couple of straights, because yeah, there's DRS here, which puts you right behind the car in front by turn 1. Then you've got another dose of DRS up the hill, and then another dose of DRS straight after that, which I kind of like about the track, but I also don't like it, because I feel like it's just, if you're in the lead on the last lap, you've lost, unless you're outside of DRS. But we have purple first sector, and we're hopefully going to use our advantage of the battery, which we're now putting in hot lap, to make the fastest lap even faster. We're on medium, so we shouldn't have to worry about the fastest lap. But if I can also get away from these guys behind us, then we're absolutely in the money. 8 tenths is the gap roughly at the moment. So Lando Norris behind. Purple sector 2. Very nice for us. We've barely got any battery left. And the DRS detection is just after this corner. Just there. Looks like Lando Norris still has the DRS. We're moving on to lap 24 of 25. And we have no battery to defend, but we do have the fastest lap. 1:05.0. So we've got some time to play with here. Maybe we'll be able to hold off Lando for this lap, but he might overtake us next lap, which is the final lap. So we're kind of struggling. We're going to see what we end up with here. Norris and Alonso very close behind. It's a guaranteed podium at this point. But yeah, we've got some work still to do in this race, which is nice to have some work at the final laps. It's been too often recently where I've just been able to run away with the race, which I like, but it also kind of makes it a bit slow towards the end of the race. But that's fine. We have a massive moment, and that's definitely going to put us under pressure from Lando Norris as we move into the final lap, as we put a wheel on the curb around that fast left-hander, and that just upset the car enough to cause us to lose probably about half a second or more in that portion of the circuit.
Help me! Help me!
Yes, I need help, as we're going to try and resend it down on Lando Norris, but it's not possible. He does lock up, which gives us some advantage back, but we now have the DRS. Lando Norris defending heavily here, as we're all the way to the inside. Lando Norris making us squeal for our existence as he almost turns into the side of us, and now completely defending to the inside. We're going to switch to the outside and wave him goodbye, as now we go deep as well. As Lando Norris really not wanting us to take P1 in this race. We do make mistakes. It does happen, but the fact of the matter is there's maybe not another place to make a move on this circuit unless we dump the battery here and aim for these final couple of corners. We're going to go to the inside, pray that we can keep it on the track, and together Lando Norris is still there on the outside. We got him. But we got him on the run up to the line on the final corner of the race. We clutched the win.
5 race wins in a row. What a fantastic result. Well done.
Indeed. The 5th in a row. I am not sad about that by any stretch.
A fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the Styrian Alps.
I mean, I'm tempted, Crofty, to use the boring word. Not quite yet, but I don't know how the others will be feeling at this stage in the championship, because they've got that dominance on their side. Clearly, they'll be looking at the championship now.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the toughest races we've had recently. I think the AI engines are definitely catching up with ours. There's not much we can do at this point in terms of upgrades. We really need to get to Spec 3, but I also really want to have another driver that can really help us to get points. I'm starting to let go of my dream of the constructors, but I don't want to give up just yet. We're only halfway through the season.
After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Indeed, and if you do want to see more, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. But let's run down ourselves in first with the fastest lap, followed by Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso for the podiums. George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Stroll, Piastri and Verstappen for the top 10. And then Magnussen, Ricciardo, Gasly, Hauger, Albon, Zhou Guanyu, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Pourchaire, Ocon and Logan Sargent, who DNF'd, sadly, during the race. That bit was cut out because it was a very boring couple of laps. But still in the lead of the drivers and in third for the constructors. We're doing okay. If we had Gasly performing, we would be king of the constructors right now. But we're not. I really need Gasly to start performing. Although, I believe next time out, we're going to have another driver. But I also need to check, because I thought it was going to be this time. But it might be next time. But do let me know what you think of the sound effects. Do you like them? Did you find them amusing? Did they surprise you? Let me know. I'm still seeing how it'll work and testing it out. But I just want to make these things entertaining, you know. For me and for you guys. It's for all of us, right? But yeah, if you're new and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. If you didn't enjoy it, you're not here to hear me say things. So, do what you want, I guess. I don't know. But that's it. I'm going to try and record a little bit more and get another video out this week, because we don't have that long before the new game. And yeah, I want to hop into that game having finished off this second season of my team, so we can hop into a new story, let's say, in next year's game with all of the changes they're bringing, which I'm really excited for. And yeah, I just kind of want to get behind the wheel of a car in F1 25, see what they've changed with some of the handling, if anything. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a good one. But that's it. I'll leave you guys to it, and I'll see you all soon for another video.